I don't know if y'all heard or even really care about this, but I'm gonna talk about it anyway because it it drives home a point that myself and others have pointed out plenty of times where a certain group of people are allowed multiple chances to recover themselves no matter what the timely manner it is in, while others are made to be called to the carpet at every avenue if they mess up even one time. So, James Gunn. The last time I talked about James Gunn was last year when that scandal went down, where a whole bunch of tweets got recovered on his Twitter account, and we're talking thousands on top of thousands of tweets got recovered on his Twitter account talking about pedophilia like acts and sexual deviancy, which led to him being fired from Disney right on the cusp of him getting ready to work on the third Guardians of the Galaxy film. And it was a big deal. Like, a lot of people were upset. Some people agreed with it. It was like a very neutral thing. And people saying, oh, it shouldn't have happened. You know, he should have been able to still keep his job and this, that, and the third. And then he got let go. Then a couple months later, a trailer for this new movie got released called Brightburn. And when I'm looking at the trailer, it looks like it's supposed to be a take on the evil Superman or something like that. That's what a lot of people got from it. And when they were listing the credits, you know how when they show credits of who the movie is made by and things of that nature, James Gunn's name popped up. And it was like, oh, so James Gunn did get a job somewhere, or he was working on something in the wings, because that movie Brightburn is supposed to come out in May. So he would have had enough time, I guess, to work on something else. As good as the movie looks or interesting as it does, I can't bring myself to go watch it because his name is attached to it. Now, you're probably wondering why you see this picture of James Gunn and he's standing with the Suicide Squad poster behind him. Well, if you haven't heard, James Gunn has been attached to the new Suicide Squad movie that's coming out in 2021. Now, a lot of people said that he should have been brought on as a screenwriter because they felt like, do it that way. But no, he has been brought on to direct the movie. So it's like he's getting a step up. So I was like, oh, that's very interesting. But guess what? If that's the case, I won't be seeing that either. Because I didn't forget what he said or what he, as far as those tweets go. Now, you have a lot of people who claim they do not like pedophiles and people who engage in sexual deviancy or even talk about it, or even let alone joke about it. Let's just stick with the part where they say joke about it, because that's what they claim with James Gunn, that he was just joking. Meanwhile, the pitchforks and everything comes out for people like R. Kelly. And again, let me give a disclaimer. This is not me defending R. Kelly, but I'm just, making a point here. Everyone wants to mute and cancel R. Kelly, but not a damn person said they gonna mute or cancel James Gunn. And when these tweets came out about James Gunn, where was Me Too at? Because that was last year when those tweets got revealed. Hell, when he made the tweets, Me Too was already an organization, but it just wasn't popular like it was now. And now everybody's going crazy because James Gunn is getting ready to probably direct the new Suicide Squad movie. And let me be honest, the first Suicide Squad movie was trash. Anybody could tell you that. The first Suicide Squad movie had so many problems with it. Like, if I had to rate that movie, I couldn't give it anything over a 5. Just being honest. But now people want to act like they forgot about James Gunn. Hell, I already knew what direction this was going in when this first came out. People was like, why did they have to bring that up? Oh, it was just jokes. Oh, he was just playing. No, you don't joke about something like that. And I have to give Disney the side eye because they had to have known about those tweets. It's just the fact that, I mean, they had to know about those tweets when they hired him. It's just the fact that they had to try to make themselves look like they didn't know. So when they got revealed, it was like, that's when they had to move in and say, okay, James, we got to let you go from, you know, this and everything like that. And it also made me look at Dave Bautista in a different way too, because he was James Gunn's like #1 cheerleader. Like, he's like, I'm going wherever James goes. Like, if he leaves, I'm not going to do the next Suicide Squad movie. So you're just going to drop your contract and leave your other castmates in the dust. No pun intended. Those of you who get the reference from Infinity War know why I said into dust. But to follow behind this guy who you know, who's joking about pedophilia, it was a lot of stuff going on. Those of you who remember all of that going down. And poor Kevin Hart. Yeah, I had to bring Kevin Hart into this because remember, they dug up that one tweet from 2009 about him, and that made him lose his gig hosting the Oscars. Now, the people at the Oscars said, well, it wasn't because of that, and that Kevin Hart decided on his own accord. Well, who's to say that if Kevin Hart chose not to step down, that they weren't going to tell him to step down because of the backlash they would have received if they kept him on? And another reason I mentioned Kevin Hart too is because recently, I was going to put this into a separate video, but I said I'll put this one, and this is the perfect opportunity to do so. Kevin Hart tweeted out about in support of Jussie Smollett because of the recent incident that he got into. Do you know them people of the LGBT community came down on him again? And basically was saying, oh, you ain't got no right to talk about Jussie Smollett and, you know, being attacked because of a hate crime and all types of stuff. Notice they are only leading with the part where they said that he was called homophobic slurs and not the part where he was called racist slurs. If I found out that it was black people that was doing that again, like, you know, people who are black and gay or, you know, lesbian, whatever, doing that again, that proves my point in the recent Torian Rage video that I just did, the one with Bayard Rustin as the cover, that they lead with their sexuality first and not with their race, which is reason why they have a problem with the B1 message. They would probably rather it be called G1. Y'all already know what the G stands for. Or S1, which would mean sexuality first. But I don't forget easily when it comes to stuff like this. But they would want you to forget that. This is their way of slowly easing James Gunn back into the fold. Now, granted, he may not work for Disney ever again. But that doesn't mean other studios aren't willing to work with him. That means that that Hollywood has not blackballed James Gunn for those tweets. Had it been a black person that had did an ounce of what he did, then they would have been blackballed. Kevin Hart just better be very fortunate and very lucky that, one, that was only one tweet, and two, his popularity is as high as it is. Because they could have got rid of him a long time ago. To be quite honest, some people have been tired of Kevin Hart. But his fan base is too strong to allow it to keep forming. And see, when it comes to any black person, it doesn't have to be just about things that are limited to social media. If it's the stuff that's off social media, if it's a black person, whether they are actor, singer, whatever, they'll never let it down. Look at Chris Brown. Hell, look at Michael Jackson. The man has been dead for almost 10 years and they still messing with this man. Even in death, he can't gain any type of peace. To be honest, I don't think Michael Jackson has been able to have any type of peace for like the last 20 some odd years of his life. But they want us to forget about the stuff that other people and other groups have done. But that also goes back to when you don't own your own media. And when their media basically has become an influencer, whether good or bad, mostly bad, on the masses. They will make it where you will forget. Now watch, this movie comes out in 2021. We're talking Over 2 years from now, because it's supposed to come out in August of 2021. By that time, no one's going to remember what James Gunn said in those tweets. And like I said, it was a lot of them. They literally had to go back and scrub his social media accounts just to try to get rid of all of them, at least the ones that they couldn't recover. Now watch, like I said, when 2021 rolls around, they're going to try their best to make sure that nobody even mentions that, or as if it didn't exist. But we are living in the information age. Those screenshots of those tweets were horrible. Especially the one where they were showing about when they showed the picture of him going to a theme style party where it was supposed to be, it was grown women, but they were dressed like they were underage girls going to a party, getting ready to have sex with these grown men. That shit took the cake for me. I can't unsee that image. But you know what? When you think about who started Hollyweird, it makes sense. If y'all don't know who started Hollyweird, it was a bunch of freaks and a whole bunch of other degenerate type people. And when all of this stuff starts to steamroll and barrel out, like people like Harvey Weinstein and Kevin Spacey, it all makes sense. But see, the reason why they didn't go heavy after James Gunn is because they were basically saying, well, he only made jokes about it. It's not like he engaged in the actual activity that he joked about. The man had thousands of tweets joking about pedophilia. You don't joke about pedophilia like that all the time unless that shit has been on your mind or you have engaged in it at least once in your life. It's a lot of people who don't joke about being a pedophile, and people and those who don't joke about it sometimes or have engaged in such activities. So that completely negates your argument. But that's all I really had to say as it pertains to James Gunn in this whole thing right here. But all I'm saying is this: do not forget it. I will not be seeing Brightburn. I won't even watch it on Fire Stick. And when he comes out with Suicide Squad or whatever they decide to call that in 2021, I won't be forgetting it. I won't be watching that either.